So Park Chung Hee, he abided by very simple fundamentals. He believed that a country needs to be wealthy to be strong, and he really believed in being strong because there's North Korea up there, right? A very, very vibrant military threat. There was clashes throughout his regime, so he knew that he needed South Korea needed to be strong, and in order to develop the military, that he needed to industrialize. Sort of, you need to build weapons as well. So he was very pragmatic. He constantly met with businessmen. So you know of Samsung, Hyundai, these conglomerates. The owners back then, these firms were usually created along the 40s or 50s. Park Chung-hee would meet with these owners constantly, and he would give directions in terms of, okay, I want what the economy to do right now. I want you firms to invest in this type of heavy industry, work on these, and pursue these agendas. And he maintained a pretty close relationship with businessmen, and the idea was that he wanted to use these men for economic development. Um, and he set the agenda, and he was forceful in achieving things, and he had this just do it mentality, and that transcended throughout all of Korea, basically. Korea after the war was basically barren. It was bombarded, so no trees. And what that implied was for agriculture, trees are very important because South Korea during the monsoon seasons get enormous amounts of rain, and there would constantly be mudslides, and it was very difficult to develop agriculture. So tree planting was important, building up the greenery. Um, and one of the big concerns was it was a poor country, so people would get their heating sources from woods, basically go into the woods, cut off trees, and use that as heat sources. And that exacerbated this whole problem of low greenery, um, low levels of green. And what he decided to do is he established a day called Tree Planting Day. It's a national holiday. I think it still exists. It's April 5th. And what every school kid gets out of school but would have to plant one tree a day. And the whole nation did that, and it was enforced. But everyone likes a day off, right? But in terms of implementing strict restrictions of cutting down trees, he was actually quite adamant about this. So if there was, he would have these people who would go around and check on the status of tree cutting, and if there were certain tree cutting activities found in being happening, found, he would actually fire the administrator of that town. So he pursued very drastic policies in terms of pushing these agendas. Also, he did realize the importance of inequality. And when we think about economic growth, there often natural thing that happens is there's increase in urban and rural inequality. You see manufacturing increasing, and the urban area gets richer while the rural areas remain poor. And to alleviate this fact and then actually promote urban and rural development, he pursued this a movement called 새마을 운동. It's also called New Community Movement in English. And basically, it's based on an idea of old self-help groups where in agricultural societies, families would get together to help out planting seeds and harvesting. He extended this idea to education and health so that people would get together and also build roads. And if these communities meet a certain target, they would get rewards from the government.